I remember the day it all began. It was a warm afternoon in May, and I stood at the edge of my small town, staring at the horizon. The sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. I had always felt a tugging at my heart, a yearning for adventure beyond my hometown of Willow Creek. The thought of exploring new places and experiencing different cultures filled me with excitement, but I knew telling my parents about my plans wouldn't be easy. That evening, as I sat at the dinner table, I could hardly eat. My stomach churned with anxiety. My parents chatted about their day, but I felt distant from their conversations. Finally, I mustered the courage to speak up. "Mom, Dad," I began, my voice trembling slightly. "I've been thinking a lot lately, and I want to travel. I want to see the world before I settle down." My father looked up, his brow furrowed with concern. "Mia, traveling can be dangerous. You have a good life here. Why would you want to leave everything behind?" I took a deep breath, trying to steady my racing heart. "Because there's so much I want to see and experience. I don't want to look back one day and regret not taking this chance." My mother, who had been quietly listening, finally spoke. "But what if something happens to you? What if you get lost or hurt?" Her voice was filled with worry, and I could see the fear in her eyes. "I promise I'll be careful," I replied, my voice firm. "I just need to do this for myself." Despite my passionate plea, they didn't fully understand. The conversation ended without a resolution, and I went to bed that night feeling torn. Should I follow my heart or stay safe at home? Weeks turned into months, and my desire to explore only grew stronger. I spent countless hours dreaming about distant lands, reading travel blogs, and watching documentaries about cultures I longed to experience. The more I learned, the more restless I became. I started saving money from my part-time job at the local cafe, determined to make my dream a reality. Then, one fateful day while volunteering at the local library, I overheard a conversation that would change everything. Two women were discussing a travel program that needed young people to help with community projects in different countries. My heart raced with excitement as I listened. This was my chance. That evening, I rushed home and filled out the application form, my hands trembling with anticipation. I didn't tell my parents until I had received confirmation of my acceptance. I wanted to ensure I could seize this opportunity without their doubts weighing me down. Weeks passed, and finally, the email arrived. I was accepted. Thrilled yet nervous, I knew I had to break the news to my parents. "Mom, Dad, I have something important to tell you," I said, my heart pounding in my chest. "I got accepted into a travel program. I'll be going to South America to help build schools and work with local communities." My father's expression darkened, and his voice was stern. "Mia, this is too risky. You don't know what you're getting into. What if something goes wrong?" "I have to do this," I insisted, my eyes pleading. "This is my chance to make a difference and see the world." My mother's eyes filled with tears. "But what if you get hurt? What if you never come back?" "Mom, I promise I'll be careful. I'll stay in contact and let you know how I'm doing. I just need to take this step for myself," I said, trying to calm her fears. After a long, tense discussion, my parents reluctantly agreed. They helped me prepare for the journey, though their worried faces lingered in my mind as I packed my bags. I could sense their doubts and fears, but deep down, I felt a fire igniting within me. This was my moment. The day of my departure arrived, and I felt a mixture of excitement and sadness. As I boarded the plane, my heart raced. I glanced back at my parents, who stood waving goodbye, their smiles tinged with concern. The plane took off, and as I looked out the window, watching my hometown fade below the clouds, I felt a rush of freedom. Upon arriving in South America, I was overwhelmed by a whirlwind of colors, sounds, and unfamiliar faces. The air was warm and fragrant, filled with the scent of spices and blooming flowers. I was met by Isabella, the program coordinator, a warm woman with a welcoming smile. She introduced me to the other volunteers, and we quickly bonded over our shared excitement. The work began almost immediately. Our first project was to build a school in a small village nestled in the hills. The days were long and filled with hard labor, but I loved every moment of it. I mixed cement, laid bricks, and painted classrooms. I laughed with the villagers, shared meals with them, and learned about their lives. Each day brought new challenges, but with every moment, I felt more confident and alive. One evening, as the sun set over the mountains, I sat with my teammates around a campfire. We shared stories, and in that moment, I realized how much I had grown. The fears I had carried with me felt distant, replaced by a sense of belonging. The people I had met, the experiences I had gained, each had shaped me in ways I could never have imagined. As the weeks passed, I embraced every adventure. I hiked through lush rainforests, danced at local festivals, and even learned some Spanish. I found joy in the connections I made and the beauty of the land around me. Each day was a new chapter in my story, filled with discovery and wonder. But not everything was easy. We faced challenges along the way. There were days when the work felt overwhelming, and I questioned whether I was capable of making a difference. I remember one particularly tough day when we faced a severe storm that delayed our progress. I felt disheartened, but my fellow volunteers encouraged me, reminding me of the impact we were having on the community. Their support helped me push through, and soon we were back on track, even more determined than before. After several months, it was time to return home. I felt a mix of excitement and sadness as I prepared to leave. I had created a life full of adventure and purpose, yet I missed my family. I thought about how I would share my experiences with them, and I worried that they might not fully understand how much I had changed. When I arrived back in Willow Creek, everything looked the same, but I was different. My parents welcomed me with open arms, their worries replaced by pride as I shared my stories. They listened, captivated, as I recounted tales of the vibrant markets, the breathtaking landscapes, and the incredible people I had met. As I settled back into my old routine, I found myself reflecting on my journey. I had followed my dreams, faced my fears, and discovered a world filled with beauty and connection. But more importantly, I had discovered my own strength and resilience. I learned that while home would always be a part of me, my heart was meant to wander. Now, as I sit in my old room, I find comfort in the familiar surroundings. Yet I know my path has changed. I'm no longer just Mia from Willow Creek. I'm Mia the traveler, the dreamer, and the doer. I've returned home with stories to tell, lessons learned, and a renewed sense of purpose. Looking forward, I know my journey is far from over. The world is vast, and there's still so much to explore. With each passing day, I feel the call of adventure echoing in my heart, reminding me that the greatest stories are still waiting to be written. Subscribe for more videos. Your support helps me create more content. Thanks for watching.